Hello and welcome to What the Football. It is us again, Chaitanya and myself here in the studio. We're going to be talking about all the World Cup happenings in the general transfer world, everything in general. But first, something very exciting before we get onto the World Cup. For everyone, not just fans of the World Cup, fans of football all around the world rejoice because...
Fans of all kinds of football.
Fans of all kinds of football. Fans of video games rejoice because this is the trailer for FIFA 14, just came out at E3.
Let me stop you right there. It's FIFA 15.
Oh, FIFA 15. Again, up to date. Let's have a look.
Football is the greatest drama on earth. This is our stage, our theatre. I was born into it, others were adopted, but we're all connected. If you don't believe we're family, you haven't felt what we felt. Agony, tension, heartbreak. But that moment, when it comes together just right, words cannot describe. But this isn't fiction. This is real life, our life. The stages are real. We can feel them, experience them. They come to life. These leading men take the ball, take the man, and take their place as legends. Our heroes run through walls to ignite our imagination. An entire season changes with one kick. One bad decision, one slip. But one magic moment lives in our hearts forever. We live for these moments. We are these moments. This is more than a game. This is football. FIFA 15. Feel the game.
To copy Jeremy Clarkson or something. It sounds, I know, Patrick Stewart it could be. We were just having a discussion over whether that was Patrick Stewart doing the voiceover of that. Again, he did the opening to FIFA 14, which is cool. FIFA 15, that looks freaking fantastic as usual. They got a whole much, with the next-gen consoles, they've got all the, vibe going on.
September 26th, lock your dates down, save your money for your jerseys, for your new clubs, and save your money for FIFA 15. Very two important things.
Mummy, Daddy, my birthday is like 10 days after that, so you can...
Mummy, Daddy, my birthday is in November, but you know what I mean.
Early presents for all. Right, moving on then. This time the final is going to be in the Maracana Stadium, which has been in the news for many, many things indeed.
Right and wrong.
Right and wrong, correcto. It will be the place for the finals. It's been used once before, of course. But we thought we'd have a look back at the top 5 stadiums, final stadiums over the World Cups in the past. So we've got a little countdown for you. Let's start with number 5. That is the Estadio Centenario. That's in Montevideo, Uruguay. That's where the first World Cup was ever held, final that is. That was in 1930. And for 1930, a capacity of 60,000 is pretty crazy.
It's a lot.
Crazy. And it's one of the only big stadiums that's not actually owned by a club, which is fantastic. And it is the playing venue of the Uruguay national team. So that is number 5 on our list. Number 4
is, well, the Olympia Stadion, Berlin.
There are no numbers on my numbers.
Oh.
I just noticed that. Right, this is the Olympia Stadion in Berlin, Germany, not to be confused with the Olympia Stadion in Munich, which is now the Allianz Arena. This was built in 1934 to serve as the 1936 Olympic Stadium, hence the name. Not to be confused, as I said, with the Munich one, where the 74 final was held where West Germany won. This was used for 3 games during the 2006, during that 1974 World Cup as well. This is, of course, where it was held in 2006 for the finals, where Italy and France had that one all crazy
the headbutt
to penalties and the headbutt, of course. It is also going to be used for the 2015 Champions League final.
Yes.
So that's pretty cool. capacity of 74,000.
Wow, you've really got your facts crunched down, haven't you?
Let's just go to number 3. The Nissan Stadium, Tokyo, Japan. Home to the 2002 final where Brazil beat Germany. Also 72,000 capacity stadium. Looks damn cool. Is huge. It's multi-purpose. That's cool. Let's move to number 2. Good old Wembley. I believe this is the new Wembley. I'm actually referring to the old Wembley. Yes, the old Wembley. Who's in charge of graphics? I think I was. Oops.
Yeah.
Anyway, we just show up here and be like, so we get to talk about football.
He says we
get paid for it. So
he says
cool.
we.
That's all right. Need help? You're supposed to be back up here. All right. Famous stadium where England won in their own home ground. Oh no, not yet, guys. Anyway, we just some few facts about that Wembley before we move on. It actually has a max capacity of 127,000 had rather. Which is awesome. It took only £750,000 to make, and it was done in 300 days.
Was in straight competition with the Bird's Nest in Asia, which houses 105,000 people still.
Beast.
Which is again a massive stadium.
Indeedy. To number 1.
And drum roll.
The Maracanã Stadium in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, home to this year's finals and also the home to the 1950 finals, where Uruguay beat Brazil 2-1.
Will Brazil triumph again?
Exactly. Will they make it that far? Will they triumph again? Will
they even reach the final? Will they even get a chance to play at the Maracanã?
Who knows? If they do, there'll be about 80,000 people that will be hanging there. It was when it was built in 1950. It was actually supposed to be the biggest stadium in the world, but then someone outdid them, and too bad. Right. So that is our top 5 stadiums taken care of for now. Let's move on to. How about some trivia? Should we go with some trivia?
Before the news.
Let's go for
some trivia before the news. Speaking
trivia
of Germans and their German stadiums, our trivia surrounds Germany and, well, not the World Cups they've won, but the World Cups they've narrowly lost. Not once, not twice, no, not thrice, 4 times. They were what, on the wrong side of the podium? Can we say?
We can say that. I would just call it second place and losers.
Almost famous.
Yes, that is our what the fact for the day.
Is almost famous that Germany finished on the wrong side of that trophy 4 times, surprisingly. 3-time World Cup winners, 1966 when England won it.
86 when I was born, happy days.
2002 when Fenomeno destroyed Oliver Kahn single-handedly in the final.
Indeed. And now to the news.
And before the news, we would like to know some of your facts, some things that might zing him, might zing me. Do you know the hashtag WTFootball? And yes, now to the news.
To the news. Here it is on my paper saying the news. Like an anchor.
And what do we start with? Do we start with World Cup?
No, we should start with that mock thing that they do in the news where we're pretending to look at notes and that. Oh, hello. Nice to see you. Yes, right. Well, no, we will start with Cesc Fabregas, actually. We've started this little pinboard thing that we're doing out here where we can sort of just place in whatever we want. Now, it's almost rumored a done deal. As you can see that little photo there of Piqué whispering to Del Bosque, that's almost done. He's on his way to Chelsea. £28 million is the price tag that's been set and rumored. And the clue that we have that this is going through indeed is an Instagram photo from Ces's missus to Messi's missus. Messi never misses, but this is Messi's missus. Girlfriend, actually.
Just got a new tongue twister for the World Cup.
Messi
misses
misses. Right, well, they're apparently going to miss each other, so that might be an indication that he's on his way out. That's quite sad for Barcelona fans. 50% of them not sad, because 50% of them actually voted
for him to leave the Nou Camp. Aren't you sad, though?
I'm sad because he's not coming
to Fabregas goes to London, but only as far as Chelsea.
That's just rude. We don't need him. We'd like him. And
the grapes are so sour, aren't they?
The grapes actually a little sour.
Very bitter.
The more I think about it, when I look back into it, it turns out that he left in not the best way as well. So you can be reminded of that. Alexis Sanchez is also being told that he can leave Barcelona.
A lot of people heading out from the Nou Camp.
Complete restructure heading over there. Along with Cesc is Diego, and not Diego the ball, but Diego Costa, the player,
striker,
is also pretty much a done deal. He has said, I am going to Chelsea. It looks like it. He quoted to a Spanish paper. 32 million is the price tag, and you can see a very excited...
Mourinho's got his man.
Jose Mourinho is happy. He's got his man. He's trying to do all his business pretty much before the World Cup.
That's the best way to go about it, isn't it? You don't need to worry about the World Cup, the pressures, the agents, the contracts. And
if they have good World Cups, their price tags will skyrocket, of course.
I don't like the look of him at Chelsea, though.
Yeah, I think he'll be another. Like you were saying.
Take your pick. Shevchenko, Torres, Cashman. Take your pick.
Where good strikers come to die.
Yep. From a conveyor belt of strikers to a graveyard of strikers, because Atletico
Specialist
Madrid...
at killing strikers, that's what you are, Mourinho.
Yep. Chelsea, not Mourinho, but Chelsea.
Chelsea.
You can't blame Torres on Mourinho. You can't blame Torres on Mourinho.
Let's give him that.
Pushing it.
I know he's a bit of a... yeah. Right. Let's say Franz Beckenbauer is under investigation by FIFA, or could be fined actually after assisting to fail with the investigations over the Qatar stadium controversies over there.
Again, this controversy fails to go away, doesn't it? There's so much coming out, so much dirt being swept under the rug, and you're getting new people, new faces, new accusations on an everyday basis.
We will talk about that a little more tomorrow. Actually, in details, the controversies surrounding this World Cup and other World Cups to be. Joe Cole has signed for Aston Villa on a 2-year deal, so he's apparently still useful.
I think that's a good deal for every party to be involved.
I think so. He's, all said and done, even at 32, he's useful.
He's a good utility player who can come off the bench, right?
He's still got him. He's not as speedy as he used to be, but he's still got whatever he's got. So he's useful. Aston Villa, I'm sure, will enjoy
2-year
deal. Moreno,
Liverpool. From one ex-Liverpool player to a Liverpool player that almost was.
Indeed.
Alberto Moreno. Very, very highly coveted. Was very high on David Moyes' list to replace Patrice Evra.
Rest in peace, Moyes.
Rest in peace. Real Madrid were after him on if the Fabio Coentrao wheel had spun on Manchester United. Would have been a very good signing, but then again, Liverpool have not earned enough to spend enough.
Apparently, well, they apparently settled on £16 million. Now Sevilla are holding out for 18 million, so that's either a negotiation that will or will not go through. Let's see. We will find out. Liverpool fans, tweet in. Let us know whether you want that to happen. It would be nice to hear from you.
Do you want Suarez to be sold? Do you want Suarez to stay? I'd still love.
Yes, we'd love to find out. Especially since there's Arsenal and United who also represent.
So our friends' enemies are enemies' friend.
Yes, correctly done. What else we got? We got Marco Reus.
Very interesting piece of news emerging from Spanish papers. The German papers are denying this news, but the Spanish papers are apparently very adamant on the fact that Marco Reus has agreed terms over his new deal with Barcelona out of the World Cup, and sadly just a week before he injured his toe. Out for 3 months is what I read on his Facebook page. Out for 3
months? Oh, so
he could miss the start of the season also.
Oh dear.
So Barcelona right now putting their money on an injured player.
Well, I mean, he is a great player, so once the injury... If it's just a little foot thing, it's all right.
But you read something about
it's not like an ACL. It's
director of Borussia Dortmund.
Apparently Michael Zorc, the sporting director of Borussia Dortmund, says that 100% Reus will be a BVB player next season. So that's some news from inside the club. Who knows what will happen there?
Sounds reminiscent of Robert Lewandowski.
But I mean, again, yes, exactly.
Sounds very, very similar.
But then again, these are the Spanish tabloids that broke the other news, right?
Yes.
So that's Marca and the lot. So
El Mundo Deportivo, yeah. So you really don't know.
It's like Bleacher Report. It could just be anything. Ooh, low blow on the internet.
Stung it.
I actually like Bleacher Report. I really like it. Moving on. Man City expected to announce Fernando's £16 million signing in the next week.
In this coming weekend, a very, very prominent Arsenal servant also joining the Mancunians.
I had a feeling this guy was going to get to that Bakary signing.
How many now? Is the third or the fourth player City have signed from Arsenal? I have lost count.
We've got Nasri, Sanya, Clichy, and...
we're missing out on another one.
We're missing out someone. Anyway, let's not dwell on that.
He's lost count of the amount of players they have signed.
City actually do want Mangala, but that needs a little more persuasion, so I don't think that will happen. Now,
and the fees is an eye-watering eye-watering 40 million pounds.
Yeah,
so that's a lot.
It's a bit much to push. Our last bit of news for today is Toni Kroos. Will he or will he not come through? Reportedly, Real Madrid have offered him a £4 million per year contract. So if that happens, there's a little quote. If you can read German, you can see there that he's making
denied all speculation.
Denied all speculations, but that is whatever's happening with there. He's probably just trying to negotiate a better deal for himself at Bayern.
You can see that happening.
See where that can happen. Ancelotti has also, in the meantime, quashed all moves for Iker Casillas to Arsenal, so that won't be happening either. And Morata could still happen as a loan.
Could still happen.
So there's hope for the boys. Now, right. Back to basics, back to
the World Cup.
Back to the World Cup. And seeing as this is an interesting World Cup, especially in terms of England, who are using a terribly young squad, Brazil, who are using a fairly young squad, we thought we'd talk a little bit about young players, which Chaitanya is going to take you through now. The young players featuring in this World Cup, starting with,
take your pick, Aditya, come on. Let's have it from you.
Let's go with
Adnan,
for me. Adnan Januzaj. Did you plan that?
As you can see, not in my control, but the universe provides. So as Adnan Januzaj again rejected advances, was eligible to play for at least 5 countries, England in the next 5 years though, but well, the Belgium coach campaigned enough and more to get him into the team. First cap for his country got cancelled, was not given his first cap and only got his debut last week, and has done very good things with Manchester United this year. And well, the bookies have stacked him up 25-1 to be the young player of the year at the World Cup in Brazil. What do you think? Where do you see him?
Yeah, as we were having a discussion off camera that we were arguing about it first, and then we realized, his point was right, that there are very few players, especially at the age of 19, who actually still go ahead and take their man on. Have the confidence to do that. So if he can, retain that attitude and that skill, I'm expecting good stuff from him, and especially since he's in the team that I'm supporting,
your pick,
Belgium.
Your pick. So I have another supporter for the team.
We are happy days.
So from Januzaj, we will now go to the player who's the most heavily tipped in Paul Pogba, or wait?
We've got Julian Draxler.
So from a United player to an Arsenal link, are we going that way?
Yes, I may have tampered with the order.
I can see that. Again, made his debut on 2012. And Arsenal again brought a 37 million bid for him, which never went anywhere. So should renew his interest again. Placed 20-1, a very, 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 very good bet to pick if you consider the fact that Marco Reus is out of the World Cup, and he's as good on the left wing as he's on the right. Very, very good on the wings, cutting in, and with Mario Götze might found a very, very potent combination in Germany. So look out for Draxler even for your fantasy World Cup team on India Post Live.
Savvy.
And well, I expect him to do good things. You would like to see him at Arsenal at some point, wouldn't you?
I absolutely would. But not at £37 million is a bit steep, even for him, even at the age of 20. So, shall we move on to the next one?
I would like Paul Pogba, because as much regret as I see of him leaving Manchester United, as much joy I see him playing for France, because you give him a range and he'll score. Picked number 1 to be the best young player in Brazil. Scored 2 goals in 11 appearances, but that doesn't even come close to the fact the way he broke through from the under-18s, the under-20s, scoring goals at will from midfield. Again, impressed with 8 goals and 8 assists for Juventus throughout the season. A Scudetto winning season for him. Was the Juventus player of the year. I mean, it's all in his favor to dazzle, to light up the stage in this World Cup.
As well, for sure.
So you want to go to 15 for 8 on this? Yeah.
Why not? Put some money down. Put some money. Oh, sportsman's bets down.
Sportsman's bets. Gentlemen's wagers. So, and speaking of England and the young squad they inherited, you are excited about Raheem Sterling in Brazil, aren't you? So let's go straight to Raheem Sterling. Because a lot of very, very, very heady expectations on his head.
And especially now that Ox has also got some injury woes kicking in.
Yes.
He is the only man with the speed that you need to not concede. And so, I was going to
you can't.
I don't rap.
10 goals, 5 assists, a very good season for Liverpool this year. Again, placed 12-1 by bookmakers, a very good bet to pick up, because well, Roy Hodgson has not really left himself a choice with this young team, so he has to put them through.
No,
With
I mean,
Sterling on the left, if a fit Oxlade-Chamberlain from the 70th minute could rock the wings with him.
yeah, that kind of beastly speed.
See,
could be
searing
awesome.
pace.
Cutting back to Rooney and all.
And
just
I
getting
think
past
if he gets the right amount of freedom on the wing, could do lots of
yeah,
wonders.
that's the one thing a guy like him needs is that little bit of space to move and get started. You know,
Yep.
it's his first getting into first gear and moving on.
And for a team as slow as Italy for their World Cup opener, he could be a very handy weapon for Roy Hodgson from the bench or even to start.
It's like that shock and awe
Yeah.
factor. Yeah. I completely agree.
Following in his steps is someone I love.
Yeah,
You cannot doubt
my
this
young
man.
player of the season
Ross
from
Barkley.
the EPL. For sure. Ross
Killed
Barkley
it for Everton, scored a wonder strike against City, is loved in the England camp. Roy Hodgson loves him, Wayne Rooney loves him. Steven Gerrard was sat to Steven Gerrard in the bus.
Yeah, it's true.
Was turning late for trainings, was sat next to the captain.
Yeah, and he's, for a 20-year-old, the position that he's given, that he usually operates around, that's actually a position usually reserved for a
The
much
stalwarts of the game, for people who've done
exactly. Even Pogba for that matter.
Yeah.
But Ross Barkley has just shone through, and he's got a lot to him. He can not just besides lethal finishing and all. He's got that bit of pace. He's got that bit of trickery again. Another guy who can take his man on. We didn't mention
and
in
how
our other discussion as well.
And how
Right,
20 to 1 again. The odds for Ross Barkley making the cut are not as obscure as they give them to be, and in a place where. Again, Hodgson's taken that pick with Lallana and Barkley. So you start with Barkley or Lallana, you will see him at some point in the World Cup. He might just star in the World Cup.
I expect lots from him. I expect him to be doing a lot.
And, well, speaking of doing a lot, someone who has done a lot with Ross Barkley at Everton.
Lukaku for sure.
Said it. Romelu Lukaku. Again, Belgium with their team, you expect him to score goals at call. 6 goals already in 29 appearances.
With Benteke out, yeah, exactly. He'll be leading the squad.
Second best to get the gong. Scored a hat-trick against Luxembourg.
What formation were they playing that night?
4-2-3-1.
4-2-3-1.
Yeah.
So he's up there on his
Up
own.
there. And with Eden Hazard and probably Januzaj on the wing, expect a lot of crosses to him. And he's no wonder he was called the new Drogba, because he looks every bit of it.
And he's got that.
He's got every bit of it that you
Although
need.
he has lost the dreads now.
Yeah, he has lost the dreads, but
that's a more serious player for you, which is an even more dangerous player for you. So who knows?
Placed at 10-3, I think the odds on him and Pogba lighting up this
so between
season's tournament.
Pogba, Barkley, and Lukaku, you reckon
Pogba.
You're gonna go Pogba?
You're gonna go
I was
Lukaku.
gonna pick Pogba as well, but since
You're gonna go Lukaku. Come on, it's Belgium for you.
It's also true. Okay, for the sportsman, I was going to say Ross Barkley actually, because he is talented, but I think this guy's going to have those goal-scoring options. I think he'll get the points. I think it'll be Lukaku. So that is that. We've also, if we can bring up the collection of all of them on one screen, we've also, of course, mentioned, because they are still young players, we've mentioned Hazard, we've got Neymar, and we've got.
I think we couldn't.
We mentioned them as well, but obviously they're going to be in our list of potential best players, not just young. So it would be unfair to the rest to put them in this category. But we mentioned them for the merit of their age, so that is why they are there. Now, that is pretty much the show for us today, my friend. So far, so good. We've got a lot of World Cup action coming up, and we want all of your thoughts and we want your participation. You can join in with us on these discussions. Talk to us via Google Hangout or Skype or however you want to communicate, and that is possible. Our hashtag is WTFootball. Check that out and tweet using the India tag.
Hashtag India tag. India Post Live.
No, I was going to say handle
India Post Live.
And then you got confused. At India Post Live is what we're doing. That is the end of the show.
Sadly, we come to an end of another show. But there goes another day closer to the World Cup.
Indeed, it's coming up soon. 12th of June is not far away. It'll be the 13th for us with the time difference, I believe. So the 13th is not an unlucky number. It's the luckiest number for football fans.
Yep.
We're looking forward to that. Before we get to that, you will see us tomorrow night as well, again at 9 p.m, where we're going to be giving a little more build-up to this New Year's. It's like
It's a new year. It's a new year for us. It's the World Cup. I don't see it any far away from a new year.
My brain is so excited right now. I can't even focus on like doing the show properly because I'm just like, okay, when do I go get to watch the match and the replays and the highlights? I've got FIFA 15 trailer in my head now. It's all
FIFA
exploding.
fever.
It's FIFA fever all over. Right, that's it, guys. Thank you so much for... No, that's not it. We got actually some great stuff. Where are you going to be watching the matches in New Delhi? There is an option at last. It's tiki-taka time. They're having some funky events all around the city. They're going to have big screens, projectors, drinking games, cheap beer.
That's it.
Sounds good.
I'm there sold. Sold. Take my money.
We'll be there. We'll see you there.
Yes, we will be there.
Do come there and check out the games because, well, if you don't want to keep your house up at night shouting, that's the place to be. And if you want to be in Brazil, then you should definitely take part in our competition, which you can find on our website, indiapostlive.com, and that is to do the predictions. Win yourself a trip to Brazil.
We've already got on the head start. You might join in. There are a lot of disguises we planned. So
indeed, and people are sending in their stuff. So you don't want to miss the cut. Get involved now. Get to Brazil. Right now, that is actually it from us here on What the Football. WTF, right?
Oh yes, WTF.
Yes.
WTF.
Okay, that's it, guys. We're out of here. Take care.
Peace.
Peace. Peace.